It's a very special night here at AfterBuzz TV. We have got one of the actual contestants from this season of Project Runway in the studio. To find out who it is, stick around.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
It's Amy Bond. We got Amy Bond in the house. Yes.
Yay!
Michelle Ubrest, unfortunately, is not with us tonight, but I managed to find a really good fill-in.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being here. I know there's a lot going on in the Project Runway world in Los Angeles tonight. Some of your fellow designers have a fashion show, but we pulled you away from them to be here with us and all of the AfterBuzz fans. How's your day been today? You get like excited or nervous about the episode before it airs, or?
It's always interesting to see because it's packed into such a small amount of time. I mean, that's 24 to 36 hours for us. So I'm super curious every time to see what it is that they're going to show and how that time plays out. So there's a little like pins and needles to it, even if I know the outcome.
Right. Well, tonight it's live, so you know exactly what you're getting here. And I want to start off by introducing my lovely panel. We've got Miss Hanna Tucker.
Yeah.
Where can they find you on the internet?
Yes, you can find me at Hanna Tucker.
And we've got Mayte down here.
So I'm here today. Hey guys, you can find me on all social media sites at Mayte Carillo _ And I want to remind you guys as well that we have a live chat going on right now. So if you guys have any questions for Amy, please be sure to write them and we'll ask her.
Yeah, live on air for sure.
Yes.
And Amy, tell them where they can find you on the interwebs and where to shop and learn all about you.
Instagram is at Amy Bond Fashion and then amybondfashion.com. And we are starting to roll out some of the looks. I've been getting lots of requests from previous challenges to do some of the looks.
Cool.
So things will be for sale as the season goes.
Exciting.
So check it out.
We will do that next week.
Before we dive into today's show, we wanted to remind you about exciting changes at our network here. You may have noticed that Project Runway now airs on a brand new YouTube channel, and that's because we're catering content to match your wants, and all of our shows currently live on content-specific verticals. Since you're a fan of our show, all the content on this channel, our AfterBuzz TV competition channel, so if you go to youtube.com/AfterBuzzTV competition, all one word, it should all be right up your alley. So hit the subscribe button to know about all of our after shows from Fashion TV and Project Runway. And we have 9 genre-based YouTube channels, which you can find on the homepage of this channel. And subscribe to your favorites. We've got comedy, drama, sci-fi, which covers superhero and fantasy, reality TV, and competition like ours, animation, wrestling, which incorporates sports, and red carpet events, which are always fun for those behind-the-scenes interviews. And our own featured content, which is slowly rolling out and coming up in the future. And AfterBuzz is the leader in custom TV coverage, and we're always looking to improve. So let us know what you think on all social media platforms at AfterBuzz TV, or email us if you want to be real slick about it and keep your comments, on the down low at info@afterbuzztv.com. So now that we got that out of the way, episode 8.
Oh, Lord.
What did you guys... I always started off by saying, what was just your general impression? What about you, Hanna?
It started off very emotional. I was about to cry, but then I saw Amy's face and I was not crying anymore. I was like, okay, no. But
It was more like this. Like
yeah, it's just like conflict after turmoil and they keep leaving us hanging.
Yeah, they left us hanging last week with who was going home.
Yeah.
And they left us hanging again this week with who is going home. But as we all saw, the twin showdown, there wasn't much of a showdown at all. I wasn't actually surprised that Sean forfeited, given that Claire literally had like half of her outfit done, and Sean was just like kicking a model all around the room.
She didn't even really want to do it, I feel like.
she
was just
had
like,
already forfeited before it started.
Yeah,
and she basically
exactly.
said that too, but she kind of had to follow through, so it was a matter of time.
Well, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I feel like she's been kind of like that the entire competition. Like, we've seen very little from her. She's always going to Claire, and they rely on each other. I see that, but I feel like it was coming. It was coming.
Yeah, for sure. I personally liked Claire's aesthetic a little better. It was a little more rock and roll, so I love that. But Claire stayed. When they went into the actual room to do that, did you guys know what was happening?
Yeah,
or
We
were you
did
just
because
like
they had to sit in with us as
Right.
they were setting up the other room. So there was all this noise, and we were wondering, and then they came and sat there like this for about 20 minutes, and then pulled them into the other room. So by that point, we did know, but prior to that, it was just time of us hanging on, waiting to see what was going down.
I know it's probably like choosing between like a heart attack or a stroke, but which one were you rooting for? Did you have one that you were rooting for? Or you kind of look at them as like they're the twins, they're like a singular being?
There are some separate personalities within the two, and I think the whole rest of the cast would say that we all felt Claire should be the one to stay.
Right.
Yeah.
She carried the team in terms of workload, and she definitely, it kind of seemed that Sean was a fashion designer because Claire wanted to be a fashion designer.
Okay.
And that's the sense that I always got, that they had to do everything together, they wanted to do everything together, it was important to them to be a team, so she picked up the career and the interest that Claire already had.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people were questioning why they let a pair of twins go on because of the soundboard issue, like them basically bouncing everything off each other and having to depend on certain ones for certain skills. I mean, I think it brought the drama. I think Project Runway got exactly what they wanted with it.
You know,
But some of the fans weren't a big fan
No,
of it.
it's interesting too when you ever see Project Runway post anything. I mean, it could be anything. It could be Kenya's shoe, and all these comments are like, "We hate the twins. What is wrong with out? What is wrong with the twins?"
We get that a lot too in our comments.
Not
Yeah.
even related to the conversation.
I personally have been very verbal about the fact that
We have been verbal,
Twins.
but I gotta point this out. He liked one of, was it Claire? No, Sean.
It was Sean.
The black
He
one,
liked
right?
the
Sean's
black,
black
it was
one?
like
Yeah.
You were gonna say that.
leather and
Yeah.
silk, like half and half. And
So I gave
that
him a
was-
hard time.
I
She
would,
did.
I would challenge you to do a Google image search with that image and
Okay.
see who actually
Oh.
designed it. Okay. Just saying.
you
Wait,
guys
let me
get that?
Google. Now that we're here.
It was a very simple design, but that challenge, yes, that was. I even said it out loud. I was like, I hate saying this, but
Yeah.
Sean did my favorite.
Yeah, you know what's interesting too is the fact that I feel like Sean never left. Like watching this episode, like it's still revolving around the twins. Like I thought, okay, maybe the atmosphere is
Well,
gonna
she said she's
change.
just gonna pretend she was there. so-
Well, she's talking to her in the air, and how she was saying, I have her in spirit, and she's here. And I'm like, she's not dead. What are you doing?
Wasn't it?
Do you think it
Indeed.
was maybe easier for you to deal with their chatter, being that you work with students and you're teaching people, and you know what it's like, being in a
You'd
busy.
think I'd have a level of tolerance that'd be a little bit higher, but quite honestly, the opposite is true.
Very
because in
distracting.
working with students, the people that work in class are there because they want to be, and they are doing everything they can to succeed in their college career. So their level of participation and emotion is very different than what we saw from the twins. So I've never experienced anything like those two people in my life. It absolutely blew me away.
Yeah, it seemed a little ingenuine sometimes, like it was just for the attention. Like we always made fun of the word "indeed."
Yeah,
I'd
we're
say
like,
that's so much like
Dude.
not necessary, but
Yeah, it was very, they have an affectation to their speech, and it would drop now and then, which is how you knew it was an affectation, but they kind of blamed their parents because it was like musical theater camp when they were little kids, like dressing them the same with bows and God knows
I
what.
assumed they probably had some very
Pageants.
interesting parents.
Hey.
Indeed. Yeah, they didn't appear on any of their videos, so we don't know about that.
Well, I've got one question that I've been dying to ask you. Being on the panel, or being on the show as an instructor, did you find that you were worried a little bit about how that would work? Like if you did well in the competition, that would totally do great and everyone would want to sign up for your classes. But if you did poorly, that could
Ruin my career.
How that
Yeah.
would affect,
Be detrimental.
Well, you can't suck too bad to get on there in the first place.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
like,
You don't want to go off
true.
the first episode.
but I mean,
That-
even look at Cha-Cha, Mr. I Left First, and his world's exploded since then. It's done him a world of favors.
Yeah, I can
So,
see
it's-
like a lot of
too.
people being into like his like Hawaii like
because he's
like,
a
super fun.
personality,
Yeah.
you know, and he's adorable in his own way. But you know, I do know what you're saying, and I had to definitely consider all the pros
Right.
and cons to that. And this was a big leap of faith for me, coming out of teaching, coming out of a very secure, steady, predictable environment, and just kind of going, all right, I'm just jumping off
Yeah.
this cliff. I don't know where it's going to go, and that's the only way I could take it. So,
So,
if I thought of too much about what you're saying, then I
Right,
may not have
right.
done it. So.
Right. Well, you're still here, so I don't think
I'm still here.
that you have anything to worry about. For me, I would, if I was on there, I would just be like, don't be like one of the first two to leave. Like, just don't be
Yeah.
like, I always find like that's. I'd rather just not even been on it.
Yeah.
I have to ask you though. You mentioned taking that leap of faith. You know, you have such a great career trajectory. Why did you decide to go on Project Runway or audition for it?
I was really, you know, I've been teaching for a great number of years, and you say to yourself as an artist/teacher that, okay, I'll work and then I'll come home and then I'll make something, or this weekend I'm going to do a collection, and you just never do because life is just busy. So I was really ready to do a different me, and I wanted a switch in my life. I wanted to get back into design, and I knew if I didn't get like seriously pushed, you know, that cliff thing again, I wasn't going to do it. So I decided to do it just because that was the way to get me into the next phase of my life, is to take that leap, and it definitely did.
You were actually a radio DJ as well, right?
Yeah, I was.
That's really cool.
These microphones, yeah,
Familiar.
with these headphones, yeah.
It's a lot darker, you know. But yeah, my career actually started. Well, yeah, it was in broadcasting. It was either going to be
Okay.
broadcasting or it was going to be fashion design
Very cool.
at that point. So
Why'd you choose fashion design?
I don't know. It just just went that way. I mean, as you guys know too, broadcasting is a difficult career. Not that fashion design isn't, but there's just so many more limitations when it comes to broadcast medium than there is to fashion. So
We
I
sure
think
do
that
know
was-
about that.
10 years
Very
to be
well.
an overnight success. They always say.
Right. Yeah. Same with fashion. So
Yeah,
you know, one day
very.
you're in, and the next.
Yeah.
Very true.
I have Charlene on the live chat. She says, what did you think of Brandon, who never designed for a woman before?
What did I think of Brandon? Is
Yeah.
that the question?
Yeah.
Brandon from the get-go is adorable, and he came with such a big heart and such desire. But that first challenge I was right behind him, so you know my teacher clicked in, and as much as I'm like, it's a competition, I shouldn't be helping other people, but I mean immediately was at his side, just being like, oh, you know, okay, so what do you? Because his face was like a zombie. He was petrified, but he is a talented designer. So if you're a talented designer, you could make clothes for a giraffe if you had enough time. And he made clothes for several beautiful giraffes. So
Yeah.
that's what I would say.
Well, I know Brandon is not a Los Angelino, but I was thinking the other day, and I think it is so interesting, none of the people on Project Runway who are living or from Los Angeles, like right now, have been eliminated. Does that mean that maybe we've got an elevated sense of style?
I hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah. All of the LA kids are still on the panel.
That's true.
Awesome.
That's true. And it's very diverse. I mean, even though there's four of us from LA, we're very diverse designers. Even within that.
Do you have a designer that you were like just growing up and even now you're like, my favorite?
Galliano. I mean, the guy you can't do anything wrong,
Yeah.
even when it's a big hot mess. It's the best hot mess.
Who else really inspires you?
Um,
I get mad like Margiela vibes from your work.
Yeah. Now that, that's the Galliano connection too. But yeah, definitely Marge. And in the early days, Helmut Lang, certainly before Helmut Lang wasn't, he's had to sell his name and go somewhere else in the mountains of Switzerland or something. I don't even know.
Are there any newbies?
They're so under
New
the
designers,
radar.
yeah.
Whoever's doing Balenciaga now, I can't remember the guy's name, but he's beautiful to start with.
Yeah.
And his aesthetic's very interesting because he's elevated street to a very clean, crisp level. So this last collection was awesome. And did you see was it Louis Vuitton? Did you see the coats? The frock
I did.
coats?
Oh, yeah.
right?
I just
Oh my
watched
God.
the Louis Vuitton show last night.
Your
and-
fur coat?
Well,
the women's.
the frock coats,
I
the
was
embroidered
not a
frock coats
fan
with
of
the
the men's
shorts.
collection.
Oh, I didn't even
but
look at that.
I didn't look at that either. I just
did
looked at the
find-
woman.
I
Yeah,
didn't get
like-
past the coats.
Yeah, I like that vintage feel they've got there.
It's coming back.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
a fan
yeah,
of
for sure.
historical
Always does.
fashion, so anytime you can integrate that and make it new and appealing and something you've never seen before, but it's familiar because you know it's got a history, I just think that's really cool.
Any celebrities out there you would just, who's like, you just dream to dress?
I would love to dress Sarah Paulson. Damn, Kristen
Oh.
Serrano got to her before I did.
She actually studied right here in this city, down the street from me by Jim Henson's studio. I forget what that I should forget, but yeah, another person that's from LA and risen the ranks very quickly. What did you think about what they put her in? We had a little
we
bit
had
to
some
talk about it on
comments.
Fashion
On
TV.
the Serrano gown, those
Yeah.
photos, is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
From
What
the
do I-
Emmys.
Oh, for the Emmys. What did she wear for the Emmys?
Puffy silver. Actually, that wasn't Christian
Was
Siriano.
it?
I think it was Gucci.
No.
The Emmys
I don't know.
outfit, right?
I don't remember what she wore.
think
They
it
just
was
did a photo
Gucci.
shoot with the Serrano gowns, and that's what
okay.
I just saw.
Okay.
Silver sequins,
was like
very
an armor.
puffy Alexander McQueen like
Yeah,
sleeves.
it looked costumey a bit. It was like the scales on a, like chainmail almost. She was going to battle.
My taste fine.
Yeah,
Well, she's
finding
an
it for
actress,
you.
right? Oh yeah, I would love
Very
to see.
true.
You got that there, Mayte?
I'm looking. Oh, here it is. Okay, it's this.
Oh my. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done that had I been her stylist.
If you want to see what we're looking at, check out Fashion TV.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's silver, very silver, very silver. yeah.
It's pretty.
Before we get into the looks tonight, we've got a little special read for you, Mayte.
I do. Yes, I have some important news to share with you all. So, have you guys ever watched The OC or Gossip Girl? Did you guys ever watch that show? Okay, so let me tell you, the CW has come up with the version of Dynasty, which is from the producers of Gossip Girl and The OC, so you know it just won't disappoint. I was a huge fan. So let me tell you, the Carringtons are the family that has it all. Their business is literally power, and they'll do anything. I mean, anything to get more. So, also, get ready because the women on the show are bosses and they're not fighting for a man, they're actually fighting for business. So don't miss the series premiere of Dynasty. It comes out Wednesday, October 11th, so you can watch Project Runway the day after. After the season premiere of Riverdale, only on the CW.
I was watching the previews for that, and they were like cleaning. It was like a butler cleaning a house, and with like a
course.
spray bottle, but instead of like a normal spray bottle, it was like a champagne bottle with like a gold nozzle. And I saw some of the posters around town, and it looks like it's gonna be kind of cheeky, kind of like they're gonna play on that campiness of the original series. It looks like it's
Yeah, I
gonna
want
be
to see the
really fun.
wardrobe.
I love
like
it. Oh, there
they're
you go.
doing the costumes, right?
We'll be
Because
seeing
there's
a lot of
such
gowns.
a great field. Yeah, exactly.
Lots of diamonds too. All right, well, let's get into what I know all of you guys come here every week to talk about. We got the looks, and we think it is most fitting to start with our guest.
Oh, and I got to go first on this week's runway, this episode's runway
Yes.
show too.
First up, we have Amy's outfit. Which you did like a ribbon print, and I wrote in my notes. It reminds. It's so Margiela to me. But there was I wasn't really sure what was going on at the top.
Yeah, you can't see
with
anything.
the bottom. Yeah. And these CDs are kind of hard. Like it seemed like it was inspired by like trench coat, kind of, right?
No, the blouse is amazing. It's a cotton voile, and it's got a high stand collar, and then the whole sleeve is pleated. The idea was that there was a jacket originally, kind of like with a shorter sleeve, and that the sleeve was pleated in with a lot of fabric so that the bottom it would just explode out of the bottom of the jacket. Tim hated the jacket, told me it might run to cost me because the ribbons were supposed to go over the shoulder. The whole idea.
thought-
and
yeah,
Gucci
when I
just
was
did
looking-
one like that in this collection. It freaking kills me. I should not listen to him. But the ribbon went over the shoulder this way and that way, and then it would trail into the pant. So all you would see of the shirt is the sleeve.
When I
So it wasn't
originally,
supposed to be like a blackout.
yeah, I know what
Yeah.
you're saying. When I originally saw that ribbon design, I thought you were gonna drape it like over, like
Yeah.
like I thought
Yeah,
that's what it
that's
was
the
gonna
idea.
be.
Essentially, that was the concept. And I mean, what a great Dixie cup that would have made.
Yeah, that would have been really cool because people
Right?
could write their name on
Yes,
it, like
exactly.
a little banner.
Come with a little marker. It would have the little thing right
Yeah.
here, and then yeah.
That was
adorable.
this was my second favorite pattern for the cup challenge. I love ribbons and banners on clothes, but how is that incorporated in the bottom? We couldn't really. They didn't
That's
spend
what I
a
was
lot of
gonna ask.
yeah. They
Not
didn't really spend a
either.
lot of
Yeah.
time because you weren't in the bottom or the top, so
That's
they just
the
kind of
story
pushed
of my
you
life,
aside.
folks.
So
I feel like that's constantly.
Yeah,
constantly safe.
I've been in the bottom twice, which was the trash challenge, and then the boob fang suit from last week. And other than that, I mean, I haven't gotten in the top for anything. So
It's about time.
it's a weird feeling to be kind of in that kind of limbo. But so the pant, it's a flange on the side that's actually sewn into the side seam, so it's kind of like a drape piece across the front.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to interpret from the runway shot there, but that's basically what it does.
I was wondering if that's detachable or is that part of
Nope,
the.
it's draped in. Yeah.
I wanted to see a matching coat on the top. And, that was where you were going.
And then the
with it.
brown and white just suddenly like shows up with all the black. It was too much of a field of black, and I do regret that. I would have followed through with
What
that
would your
idea.
could have looked like if you'd have gone with it?
Well, it was gonna be kind of like a little safari jacket
Oh,
idea
cute.
with with the whole what am I trying to say, like collar like this, like a mandarin collar.
Okay.
And buttons down the front, and then the ribbons would come, and then it was going to be a short sleeve with a little cuff, so that the rest of so it wasn't too much print. It would just kind of come down the front.
How would you have incorporated the print into the jacket?
It would have been the center of the ribbon would be on the shoulder, and then the ribbons would be coming down the front.
Oh, that would
And
have
then
made
the
a difference.
Right? And then the lapel would go over it, so it was like a trompe-l'oeil, like the embroidery almost, like the ribbons on the jacket, but it was covered by the
I
lapel.
want to see your jacket.
Now you have to make it.
I'll never see that fabric. I'll never see that fabric again, though.
Well, I gave
I'll have
this.
to make it.
Oh yeah, you'll have to design it again.
Right?
I gave this 3 stars, which is actually very high.
It is. No, I gave it a 3 as well. But for me, this really embodies women on the go. It's so easy to throw it on. I like that it's untucked because it shows that she really is on the go, but it still looks very well put together. I really like this look, and I like the sleeves a lot as well.
Very New York look.
Yes.
I love New York. Totally.
And my model, she's from the Bronx, and she was all business,
Perfect.
but she had such a uplifting spirit, but she wanted to be, a strong, very polished person. So I think it really read well for her.
Yeah.
She loved it.
What
You
were
can
your
tell.
thoughts about the outfit, Mike?
I actually like this look. My favorite thing is the high collar because it's so different. The only thing is that I really wish you would have added more print to the top. But other than that, I do love that you went with pants because that's definitely different. And I gave this actually 4 stars. Yeah, I really like this.
Well, next up, we have got, I believe it's Brandon.
I think so, yeah.
Yes,
Yep.
this is Brandon's outfit. It is, for those of you in the podcast, this outfit was kind of like futuristic looking. It's got a mini skirt and like a cropped geometric top.
It's actually an apron. It's a vest.
Okay.
It's a little vest and an apron over a black tank top and black
That's
skirt.
what I
About it.
Well, I absolutely hated this look, and I thought it was way too futuristic, like in a bad way, and is super costumey. And just stop with the strap.
I agree.
Stop. It reminds me of like.
So I just love those
Oh my
straps.
gosh, it's like
tired of it.
1999.
Love
I'm
them.
wearing some Jinko jeans, and my friend's wearing Kit Girl pants.
Oh, God.
Like these parachute pants. Oh my gosh,
It's
I just
too-
hate those straps. They make everything look cheaper to me.
Lip service. That's what it is. Remember that brand, Lip Service?
Hot Topic. It's so Hot Topic, yes. Girl.
I don't mind the straps, but I don't like how there's so much going on.
Did you not just hear it?
There's just so much going on in this outfit. If he took out some of the ruffles, I know he tried to go a little bit different from what he usually does, but it doesn't work for me. There's just too much going on.
I wasn't a fan of this look either.
I gave
I'm
it
tired
1
of the straps.
star.
I gave it. Oh, I was generous. I gave it 2.
You were generous.
I'm
Yeah, I
just
get it.
tired of always seeing the same thing
Yeah,
coming
I
from him. I
agree.
just want something different. And
It's
do Kanye West.
Yeah. It reminds me of like what someone would like maybe in like the 80s would think the future, like people would dress in the future would look like.
Back to the
and
Future vibes.
Yeah, it's like bad costumey future.
My complaint on it is it would be the fit. I mean, she's a cute girl, really cute, spunky little girl, but her entire figure is camouflaged
True.
by an upscale waitress outfit, basically.
The colors just also didn't really work together for me.
Yeah, for a Dixie cup, maybe they'd want to see a little bit more, I think. I like where he was going with it, but maybe it looks a little unfinished. Like he could have put a little bit more time into
That
it.
20-minute thing, I got to tell you, was
Yeah,
the worst. I mean,
that's
try to
So
design
to
an
do your
entire,
print,
yes, an
That's
entire
it.
print in 20 minutes was literally insane. So
Yeah.
we're lucky we had
Yeah.
anything, to be honest.
And that's what we were talking about earlier too, is like we don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
Right.
It's hard for us to put ourselves in your shoes. It's like I said, we don't know who, how many sewing machines are taken up and like, what's available, what sewing machine,
What
techniques we're
twins
using.
talking?
Yeah.
I think we know a lot about that.
Close.
They gave that too much airtime.
Well, what would you give this on a 5-star scale?
I'd probably give it about a 2.5 because
Okay.
it was well executed.
We're not doing half stars.
Oh,
Yeah.
half stars?
I'm just trying to get you to be mean.
That is pretty mean, though.
I
2.5.
know. Right?
That'd be a C+. We do that.
Next up, we have Botany's outfit, and I gotta tell you guys, this is not fashion. This is just confusing.
There's a lot going on. It's not really well executed, and I feel like her model was being really, really nice the whole episode. And,
All
like,
of them.
Yeah.
They were all
so
lovely
nice.
people.
Yeah, podcasters, this is that purple dress with like the weird tie vest.
We don't.
Heidi's Coachella dress.
Yeah, which Heidi called very hippy dippy.
Yep.
Hippy
The
dippy.
bottom. It's a bottom portion. And then the shoes that she accessorized with this outfit.
Have you seen the JCPenney accessory wall?
I mean, well, we've talked about that already.
Really tough.
Yes.
Talk about that wall.
Really
Yeah.
tough.
But I mean,
That wall. The shoes on that wall and the jewelry on
Oh,
that
the
wall.
purses. How about that?
We love it so much.
it's her favorite.
We should have had a
Yeah.
challenge where you put on as many JCPenney's accessories at one time as possible.
I noticed
That would've
most
been
of the
good.
designers don't have accessories on their models.
Yeah.
Because
What would
the
they?
few that have used them, especially like the purses, have gotten dinged by the judges because it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
I remember there was this one outfit in the beginning of the competition. You might have made it. It was like it went down like this. It was like a black and it had a brooch and it had like long. Was that Michael that made that?
I think that was Michael.
Okay.
He had the big
and
fat
I like loved
brooch
it
here.
except the brooch like killed it. And
Oh, Samantha, I think.
okay. It's like very like
You know what?
70s
Yeah.
cut out shoulders.
Michael used the
kind
bag.
of furry. It was like
bag.
a furry. Yeah,
I don't even know what you're talking about, but
You saw so many looks. But what did you think about this?
yeah, Botany has a great talent with prints, and it's funny. Okay, so when I was getting ready to go to Project Runway, I have this friend that's like a super fan, and I asked her advice or what would she say, and she's like, okay, there's a kiss of death. I'm like, what do you mean there's a kiss of death? She's like, the kiss of death is when you say, I got this challenge. And I watched her do that. I didn't even know she said that. But when Botany says, this is my challenge, I got this. I'm like, oh no, oh no, oh no, it's not going to go well. And it just wasn't strong.
Well, it's crazy because when she started out with the pattern, she had a great idea in mind. It was D for Dixie in Arabic, right? And then she
No, no,
that's
no,
Iona.
that's
Oh,
That's
Iona.
Iona's.
Oh, okay,
Iona's.
okay. Never
This
mind.
one was just had a slight pattern, just like almost like it looked like a
was a
strap that
floral.
was sewn on,
back.
and then
It
the
was
back.
a little like medallion
Can we
thing.
talk about the
yeah,
back?
the stripe with the design
It
going
looked like
down.
like a
Yeah,
child
her
made
coat.
that.
Mm-hmm.
She just got desperate, I think, at that point to use the print somehow because we were running out of time. And it wasn't what she wanted to do.
A lot of the Project Runway fans have been very vocal, almost like the twins in this way. They've been very vocal about the fact that Botany dresses so cool, but we don't see that come out on the runway. What would you say in response to that?
I think her Model's Day Off, Model's Day Out, whatever, Model's Day Off? Whatever, the model one
The model
definitely was
challenge.
her. You know, she pieced all those prints together.
Yeah,
That
with the big turban.
Yep, that was definitely where she represented herself best in these challenges. But there are definitely some like this and the first one that almost got her off the first day, that gray dress. That I don't know, and I mean I've been there too. It's like you
Yeah,
get
for
into this
sure.
weirdo incubator of craziness.
You
and
can't
then
stop it and just start something completely different.
that, and you don't
sometimes.
always feel natural. It's like even if it's your thing, because like menswear inspired is my thing. Thank God I didn't say that. But you know I blew that challenge too. It's just there's just some kind of focus
Maybe
that
you hype it up to
lose.
yourself and you want to prove it to yourself, like, and no, I should be
Or
able
you're
to
not
do
critical
this.
enough,
Yeah.
maybe. You know, that
Okay.
it's just
It's
like you're not
hard.
stepping back and giving any perspective to it because you'd feel a little too comfortable. could be.
Well, this outfit was just totally confusing. But next up, we've got Margarita's outfit.
Poor Margarita.
Oh, yeah.
I feel so
She
bad
was
for her.
really, really lucky she had immunity this week.
Yeah, this was a little rough.
What do you think, Mayte?
I think this is a perfect design for a cup. This gives a lot of summer vibes. Definitely something to wear for a barbecue, but I'm not convinced that this is a look for her that looks, I don't know, it just makes her look older.
Definitely not a $25,000 look.
No. I just wanted to rip off the jacket. I was like, no.
Yeah, and we said that to her before she went on the runway. I was, you know, the designers in general, like, you don't need to, just don't put the jacket on. You don't need it. It looks like you have two different outfits on, but
I don't know if that dress could have held without. Well, I mean, it did have that blue trim on
Yeah.
the jacket, which kind of pulled it in.
I
but-
think Yolanda said it when she's like, I would have rather seen this with some flip flops and
And
you know,
beach bag.
because she could have styled it differently
Yeah.
to kind of downplay
And
it.
that would have been okay with
Would
the
have been okay.
challenge, Yeah.
I was so sad.
I didn't like the way it fit her in the bust. It seemed a little rippled. It seemed a little baggy in the places it shouldn't be. I don't know.
Well, you saw what happened to her emotionally during that
know.
work time, so
Yeah, it
she was kind of
seems
doomed.
like she was distracted by somebody else's look. I wonder who that was.
And it was funny, and there's like the transition from Claire redesigned the top from the side thing into
Yeah.
the center thing, and they kind of skipped over that. It was almost like they talked so much about the fact that Margarita was upset about it, and then Claire changed the design, and they didn't even mention that part.
Yeah.
Well, Margarita's dress, it is definitely bad futuristic like brandings for me. I gave this 1 star.
Wow.
I gave it a 2. Because at least there's something there. It's a good pattern, like you said.
I gave it a 3. Just because I know that she really tried hard, and it's hard getting so distracted. And I don't
You guys
know,
were
just
not
like,
this nice to me last week. I'm just saying, okay? Now you're taking into account how hard she worked.
Wait.
You didn't even like my top stitching
think-
thread.
Those lapels reminded me of my aunt Christine's breasts.
I'm telling you though, the best thing in that whole episode was Zach saying wackadoodle. Like that's like my new favorite word. I think I should be at wackadoodle on Instagram from now on because it was just the best.
What made you do such the droopy lapel? If you want to pull this up, we
Yeah,
gotta talk
we're
about it. What
gonna
made you want to do that droopy lapel?
I'm sure your audience doesn't really want to know. Just kidding. That was a difficult challenge because Kenya really took over design-wise. And if you look at my look compared to all of my other looks, like it wasn't my design. The peplum, the collar, all of it.
Yeah,
No,
she's
wasn't
very
my
much
design.
with like the form-fitting stuff like
Yeah.
that.
And I wanted to put just like if we had to do this neckline, which she was adamant on, I wanted to put just kind of a notched collar that sat at least around it. But she's like, no, you only need 1 point. Like, what do you mean only 1 point? But I just kind of stopped.
There's a lot going
at some
on.
point.
Maybe you could have given it a Mandarin collar.
Could have done a lot of things, couldn't I? But you know, around time and whatever.
Yeah, we all understand what that's like because we have a former Project Runway contestant, Michelle Ubris, who you're filling in for. So yeah, we understand.
You hear that
what
all the
it's
time,
like.
yeah.
But you know what? This is on TV, and this is what's going on the runway, and
That's
this
right.
is what
You're
people
still
are gonna
accountable
talk
for
about.
it. I
Yeah.
get it,
Yeah.
and I'm willing to.
But you're still in the competition.
You are.
You
So-
are.
Thanks to how terrible the twins were, and otherwise it might have been a disaster for me. Yeah.
Next up, we have a look from Claire, which the judges said was the winning look. I assume they're not going to take it back, but there was a little bit of controversy around it, so which we'll find out next week what exactly happens. But I found this so boring and old.
I hate that I actually like this look because I don't want to like it, but I do. But it is a little bit on the, like we've seen it before side.
Oh, it's
Well, we know
shoppable
we've seen
now,
it
and
before.
whoever said J. Crew, I think it was Michael,
Yeah.
was spot on. Like this
To
just
me, it
looks
looked
like
like the
something.
limited or like express.
Yeah, there's no design to it, and Nina said the
Like a
same
mall.
thing.
Yeah,
And
like a
okay, let me
mall.
point out right now. You see the little things, the slits on her shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
Was Sean not wearing that
was gonna
exact
say
thing the day
that.
before with the gray dress? Exact
The
thing.
exact thing.
Yeah, the
And
little sweater dress.
yeah, same thing. And I heard Michael say that the pattern on the pants is in her room. I
Yeah.
caught him
Yeah.
saying that. So she knocked off not only the top but the pants as well.
Exactly.
Well,
Right,
I think she
unfortunately.
was very smart to shift that
Yeah.
Ever so slightly.
Because I think that could have gotten her kicked out,
It's
honestly.
all
so
because of
too.
Tim. Like, Tim suggested that they had seen that before, and then he was like, we have seen that from you.
Yeah, he
I
got,
know.
he got that
Margaritas.
confused.
I think he did.
Yeah.
He got
I
that
think he did
confused for
too.
sure
Yeah.
because that was a winning look.
And he heard,
Yeah.
he heard us in the workroom. I mean, they listened to everything anyway, but he knew what was going on. I think he was very diplomatic and made a choice to try to steer her in a different
Yeah.
direction.
How much do you love Tim Gunn?
Oh,
He seems
Very.
so awesome. Like he's
he's
everyone's
just,
best friend.
he is. He genuinely cares, and he genuinely wants you to find the best project that you can out of whatever disaster it is that you're doing.
Right.
That's good.
He's been there from the beginning because everybody loves him.
Yup.
Well, does anyone else have anything to say about Claire's outfit?
No, I have
No.
nothing to
Black
say.
satin top with a most wonderful design print pants
I wrote,
Nina
yeah,
Garcia had
no.
ever seen.
Oh no.
I don't
I
understand
was like, what
that.
is in your coffee today, Nina? Like, jeez, this is so
But it's like that. I
boring.
feel like episode after episode, they praise an outfit, and then we're just like, "What? What do you see?"
Right.
And this is
Yeah.
one of them.
It's sort of-
I don't think she deserved to win this challenge
I
personally.
don't at all.
It
either.
wasn't
I gave it
innovative.
1 star. 1 star.
Yeah, it just basic AF. I wrote.
Yeah. yeah. Yeah, I gave it 1 as well.
Next up, we have my favorite print from the runway. I thought this was so thoughtful, being that she incorporated, her faith into just like reinterpreting Dixie, in another language. And I thought that was so thoughtful. I could see that winning. But then when I saw what she did with her fabric, I was a little disappointed. I thought it was like proportionally not flattering. Like it looked good in the chest and in the like at the bottom, but the arms looked just not flattering for me.
We are seeing a lot of skin for Iona.
We are
So
seeing a
this
lot
is
of
a
skin
big
for
change
her
for
because she's a
her.
modest designer.
Yeah, she is. But I agree. I think it's a little bit too short for her, and I feel like it's something that maybe I could buy in the store. And if she were to turn around, there's like a little bow in the back. I feel like I see a little girl wearing that. I'm not too sure if I like that either.
I would have liked like a matching cape with it or something, like just a
Like
little,
a little
shawl or
coat
something.
and over,
Yeah.
Yeah.
something to wear over.
I don't know. It wasn't flattering on the arms. I could see this on like maybe like a size 2, looking really cute.
Yeah.
But you got to consider she considered her client didn't want to be completely covered up, so why wouldn't she consider her proportion a little
She
more?
did. I gotta give her credit for that.
I have to say though, I disagree. I think her arms look fine. I don't think they look drastically bad. The only thing that I would change is the lace at the end
I
of her.
liked it.
To me, it looked a little cheap. And then the slit, it looks like she cut it herself. It just.
Well, she
Like,
did.
didn't-
No, I mean, like, not her as a designer, but like her as a client,
Oh, the
as
client
a
did it himself.
customer. Yeah, she just went in and was like, I want a slit. and
Hacked it
just-
up. Just
Yeah.
How many stars would you give this outfit?
I gave this 2.
I gave
For
it
the
3
print.
because it was my favorite print. If I'd
I
have
do
been
like the
working for
print.
Dixie, I'd have been like,
See,
This
I want to
is-
bring up another point. Did you see anybody from Dixie sitting on that judging panel?
we did not.
Do you not find that weird? So we were so challenged by Dixie, and we're supposed to be preaching to Dixie and appealing to Dixie, and Dixie didn't even judge those looks.
But in the very beginning, the representative from Dixie said, I'll be seeing you guys later. So nothing?
What happened?
Same thing with the garb. With what was the other one? There was the JCPenney one. JCPenney's didn't come judge our looks either. That was
that's
all
true,
just the
huh?
judges and whatever direction they chose.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Dixie said, send us over like a folder of all the prints. We're going to pick the print, and then you can pick the winner based on
That
who
might
you
have
chose.
happened. I mean, there was enough time in between that that's possible.
Really
Pretty lazy.
see Nina, Heidi, and Zach saying Claire's look was the best.
It surprised
doesn't-
all of us.
Like, especially when, well, we'll get to that in a minute. Michael's look is up next.
Why, Michael?
I thought it was interesting, but the design, like it would be better for a younger client. And that's another one I had a problem with the sleeves. I wanted the sleeves to be like baggy or like, I don't know,
No
the
sleeves.
openness
Just
was,
no sleeves.
was too much going on, like they said.
I like the direction he was going, but I don't think he landed in the spot he wanted. You know what I mean? There's just a lot going on. I like that he took the tribal prints and her culture in mind, but I don't Like there's like a little flappy in the back when she was walking, and I'm like, oh, just cringe.
I don't like the color on the prints. They just don't match well. And it looks like he tried a little too hard to make this work.
I think he did a great job engineering that print for the amount of time that we had for him to figure out how to create a border and how to have all that kind of fall into place.
It's a print I would wear, for sure.
It was impressive. I don't understand why he cut the sleeves open and put the trim on that. That really confused me. Like, why did that have to be open there? Because it didn't.
The trim, the trim kind of reminded me of one of your outfits. It was the sleepwear, I think. Well, not in that way, but yeah, it's.
She's talking about. She's talking about your pajama
You're in kicking
outfit.
distance.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh. I just had a solid black elastic trim. I think that one has actually got some sort of scalping or something to it on that particular one.
Actually, yeah.
I don't know. It's got the top. I mean, I think the bottom's really modern, like, and the
concept
top's
was really cool.
Kind of, the cut's very mom, but the print's fun in my opinion. But I don't know. I gave it 2 stars just because I think that she really liked the way she felt in it, and that maybe if you did put this on a different model, it might look completely different.
It would.
Like a 30, maybe like a thin 30-year-old Claire Underwood type. I don't know. Maybe like. But not with that attitude.
Yeah, Heidi said it would look good on someone taller. I do remember her saying that.
Yeah.
I agree with that as well.
Anyone give this a high score?
Nope. Give it a 2.
Me too. I gave it a 2.
We're on the same page. What would you give it?
I'd give it a 3, just because the design sensibility
Yeah,
was...
you know things we don't
He's
know.
done
about
better
all this
stuff for sure.
Yes, I do not disagree.
Well, next up we've got Kenya, who I thought this was very Kenya. It's so Kenya, like such a Kenya look. It looked very well made with all that pleating. And
Peplum.
I thought it was a good job for the challenge, and I thought definitely looked like a Dixie cup, maybe more so in a hospital than in like a Dixie cup like on a... You know I love Kenya. Don't look at me like that. Maybe not the most fashionable print, but it did look like maybe a Dixie cup print that has been used before.
Possibly.
You know, not like super fashion-y.
I think you're saying dated.
Yeah, it looks like a dated Dixie cup print. So I think that more safe to go with something, you know, that's not like...
Challenging.
I like
Tell
the
me how you
prints.
really feel. Oh my God, you got a little bug up here.
Yeah.
Be in
All
your
right,
bonnet.
it's all coming out right now.
It's all
Here's
about
my
that
forearm,
suit,
right?
isn't it? It was all about that suit.
It just struck me as very funny when this came down the runway, or when they started speaking to her, and they said, Kenya, you just give us great blouse after great blouse after great blouse. I'm like, yeah,
It's the
except for
same.
last week. You know, why did you hate last week? What she did with the gray blouse thing, and you love it a different week. I'm just like, I'm starting to think that it's me, you know? Like,
No, yeah,
I
and
think
even
it's a combination of things, like the model it's on, you know, what kind of day they've had. Just, I think it's a combination of a lot of stuff, because sometimes we do hear those things, and we're like, why do they like this, and why do they hate that?
yeah, or if it's the same
Yeah.
thing, when it works one time and it doesn't in another.
I definitely feel like her and Brandon use the same thing consecutively. Like if it's not peplum or if it's not like a shoulder and cut, you know, it's just, it's
She
always
works a lot
the
with
same
jewel
thing.
tones, really bright, bold
does.
colors.
Yeah.
But I think that's something they like in fashion, in Project Runway for their fashion designers, is that when they see what they're doing, they're like, this person could put together a cohesive collection that looked like it all lived together in a family.
Very
What do
true.
you think about the way the judges have seemed to maybe favor Kenya? All right, here's a better way to ask. What do you think about Kenya as a designer?
What do I think about Kenya as a designer? I do think she has a strong aesthetic that she sticks to, and that for a cohesive collection, that's a good thing. Where you grow from that would be the question. If it's always that consistent, it's not really showing a pattern of any sort of movement forward. So I
Well,
would question that.
The next outfit we have up is one that all the judges praised because they say we see you progressing in that way that we want to see. And that would be Kentaro's outfit, which I thought this was so flattering for his, I hate to call them models, but his client. They wanted some, but we also love pink and red here on this panel.
Yeah.
We love it. This reminded me a lot of Margarita's dress that she did with that poofy.
Oh, the first one.
Yeah, it gave me those same color vibes. But yeah, this looked so elegant and expensive, and I don't
Perfect
know
for a
why
wedding.
Heidi didn't like the top. I liked it, and for me, I'm also the type that likes that, like Mary Kate Olsen, Gwyneth Paltrow. When you aren't huge and busty, like being kind of like
Slouchy.
yeah, I kind of like that. I feel like it's kind of like Manhattan chic, you know? It's like you're not the kind of woman that's trying to prove that like my body's the best in the room. It's like you already know that you have a great body or you love your body and you're just wearing what you like.
Yeah.
And it flowed so nicely on the runway. I was just
Yeah.
like, yes, like I want to see more. Yeah, he did a great job stepping out of his comfort zone and progressing, I think. I really want to see more of this and see where he goes with it.
This was my winning look for the night. I would have given this the award for sure.
And how he used that print, I mean, it doesn't even look like a print. It looks like a fabric, the stripe. And the fact that you
Yeah,
don't
like
see
a
it as a
woven
medallion.
stripe
Yeah,
almost,
it
yeah.
doesn't look like a medallion. It doesn't look like
Yeah.
a something printed on a fabric. It looks just like a fabric. And the fact that he went to Mood without, we didn't have our fabrics when we went to Mood. So he matched that somehow miraculously with the pink fabric.
He's got an eye for it. I found this to be my highest rated look on the runway tonight. I gave it 4 stars, and I just thought it was just great.
I gave it 4.5.
Ooh, almost
Little
perfect.
halfsies. Yeah. You did a great
What
job.
about you, Amy? What would you give
I didn't
this
star
outfit?
it, but I mean, I would have chosen it as the winning look.
Yeah?
So I guess that'd be a 5, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I gave this a 5-star too, just because he did go out of his comfort zone. And then when she just took off the jacket and the details in the back were very different. Definitely not something that we've seen other designers do. So he definitely pulled it off. Like he wasn't copying anybody else.
No.
It's very original.
That came very organically. It just sort of grew, that
Yeah.
design.
Well, as we all know, we did get a winner tonight. We got Claire. I don't think they're gonna rescind their decision.
I hope they
but,
do.
I hope they
think,
do too.
Yeah, we can hope, but you know, I don't know if that's so. I don't know
Well,
if
they
it's,
didn't give us a loser, so I'm thinking
Yes.
maybe they will change their minds because of that.
Our
Hopefully.
bottom 3 are Botany, Margarita, and Michael, but Margarita cannot be kicked out because she has the last save of the season, and the only 2 left are Botany and Michael, and that's another reason I thought it was so funny he stormed off, because it was almost like now or never.
Yeah. Is he gonna go home too?
Yeah, so all of you
No.
that watched with us tonight, we saw that Michael had a big problem with Claire's look and how much it was reminiscent of Margarita and patterns she had laying around.
I'm glad he did that.
Me too. I was
I
like,
am.
someone needs to say
We've
something.
been waiting since the premiere for
Someone-
this.
Yeah. It was time someone said something. Like, you guys are all adults. Why don't you just confront the situation head on?
I think what will work against him the most is the fact that it was chosen the winning look.
Maybe. I don't know.
What do you think about all of it? Let's end the show with this. What do you think about that situation?
I told Michael right after that I was proud of him for having the guts to do something he felt very strongly about.
Yeah.
If you get to the point where something bothers you that much, regardless of whatever's going on around you, then you should stand up for yourself. And that's what needed to happen as far as their perspective. They felt that with their concerns that they were expressing them already to the producers or in our interviews. So, we all felt kind of that everybody
I
knew
kind
what
of
was
think
going
they
on.
wanted someone to call it out.
Of course, so they were waiting for it to get to a boiling point, quite honestly. So we knew that they knew, and they knew that we knew that they knew. So it was just a matter of somebody popping.
Yeah, we
And-
didn't get to see that. We don't get to see that. But
No.
yeah.
Well,
You don't get
I'm
to see that.
chomping at the bit.
But it gets better, I can tell you. It gets better.
It does.
That was
Can't
like
wait.
this of this.
Like next episode or previous, or like next
No,
episode?
next,
Oh,
yeah.
okay,
You
okay.
guys.
Because I never know where they're going to cut it, so I know what happens next, and that will be where we start next week.
That's so exciting. We have a lot to look forward to. Well, thank you everyone out there in TV land for joining us. And thank you so much, Amy, for being
Thanks,
a part
guys.
of
I
our
really enjoyed
show.
this. Yay!
Tell everybody where they can shop your line and find you on Twitter, Instagram.
Okay, yeah, Instagram is at Amy Bond Fashion, amybondfashion.com. Twitter is at Amy Bond Fashion. I'm very consistent here. If you got the Amy Bond part, you can find me. So, yeah, please stop by and follow and all that crap.
Mayte?
And you guys can find me on all social media sites at Mayte Carillo _ and just tweet me your thoughts.
And you can follow me at Hanna Tucker.
And you can follow me at Michael X Shirley on Instagram and Twitter. And I love Michael Shirley if you read blogs. And we're going to wish you the best of luck. I know it's kind of like after the fact because you already know what's going to happen. But we wish you the best of luck in the competition. We hope to see you soon.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you, everyone,
you.
for watching. And tune into AfterBuzzTV.com to see more after shows. And tune in next week.
And watch Project Runway.
Yeah, got to find out who lost.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.